Today, there are roughly 159 active fires in Ontario. Of those, 30 are not under control, 30 are being held. 30 are not under control, 7 are being held, 7 are under control, and 115 are being observed. In the past 2 weeks, we've also seen over 80 fires been extinguished by our incredible fire rangers and teams. And the number of not under control fires has gone down from the 53 reported on July 22nd. 156 Ontario fire crews are on the ground, supported by over 140 aircraft, including 85 suppression helicopters and water bombers across the province of Ontario. Recent rainy, cool weather has helped our crews get to work on suppression. Right now, we're very focused on direct suppression efforts and making sure that people and property are safe here in the province. Once we get through the fire season, just like we do after every fire season, we go through what's happened well, what hasn't worked the best with our teams, and we look to change those things for the following season.
I would just add to that, Minister Harris, that we are actively doing discussions with First Nations leaders at various levels to ensure that in real time, as the Minister says, that we are nimble and that as circumstances change for other communities, we can continue to do better. Some First Nations leaders have chosen to have those meetings with us in private, choosing not, of course, to take this to the media, but rather focus on the safety of their community members. Engage in best practices, whether it's readiness, suppression, or the processes within evacuation and repatriation. And to that extent, I can attest to the fact that all of us as ministers have taken those conversations and those meetings. And as the Minister said, we always debrief and try to understand how governments can do better. But in the meantime, we're focused on the top priorities, and that is the active wildland fires, the threat of those, the environment, obviously heat waves in different parts of Northern Ontario.
Everybody's situation is very different. Some have road access, some are only boat access, some are only plane access. So depending on what situation arises, how quickly we've heard from First Nations leadership and other municipal leaders through this process is that early warning is obviously something that is extremely important, because they're then able to make plans to what they need to do. If they're not in a position to be able to self-evacuate and they do need assistance from the ministry and or the federal government, and we want to thank our federal partners for being able to help evacuate several communities and also with some search and rescue efforts that we've needed to do. But it's extremely important that we work towards, and this is, I think, one of those things that if we're talking about what we can not necessarily do better but do differently is look at ways that we can try and get out there on the landscape and warn communities as quickly as possible. So having emergency management plans in place is going to be extremely important going forward. Looking at ways that we can work with communities to set up values protection ahead of time so that we're not doing it sort of last minute as fires approach and people are trying to evacuate out of the communities. So each community is a little bit different. We're continually working with them to try and develop what plans make the most sense, and we'll keep doing that as we move forward.
This is a tested, true tradition of provinces and countries sharing its resources for, wait for it, wildfires, right? They are wild. They change. I'm sitting here in Kenora right now. We don't have any smoke, but by this afternoon, a southeast wind could easily move into our community on a dime and put us under certain kinds of pressures or effects of smoke, and the people in Toronto have seen that. When it comes to the actual firefighting, obviously Ontario has been there for provinces. California, I think the comments made by Minister Trump, President Trump, were so unfortunate about it, is the fact that Ontario, without any thought or any hesitation at all, mobilized its resources to go to California. There's no level of preparation out there that can put one jurisdiction in a place to completely handle the fires that may evolve in its jurisdiction. That's why we depend on other levels of government, people on the ground, and other jurisdictions to come in and fight those forces. I was the Minister of Natural Resources 4 or 5 years ago, and we had support from Mexico at the time, just as we do now. That is a reflection of our preparedness, the level of preparedness, to call on other jurisdictions for the right support at the right time for wildfires as they evolve, expand, contract, and the various exercises from suppression to bringing them under control.